Good morning, gamers. So, Rain World. What the fuck? Rain World is a game that's beloved by the community around it. Everyone that's played it and has sworn by it seems to love the gameplay, the environment, the lore, which evidently is pretty darn deep. But what is the game like for somebody who's never played it before, like me? Keep in mind that this video is just based on my initial experience as a completely blind player playing through Rain World for the first time. A lot of the knowledge or information that I'm putting forward is a little bit spotty here and there. I hope you can look past it and just interpret this as a genuine first interpretation of Rain World. Perhaps it's been a really long time since you got to play it for the first time, or perhaps you've never played it before, but hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight into what an initial playthrough feels like. Should you play Rain World for the first time blind? Sure, you can. And I think it's a great experience in and of itself. However, there are certain things like if you're going to be going that way for the next 2 hours and it's all going to be backtracking, it could be kind of nice to have a friend around who's played before to give you that information. It really depends on how masochistic you are. Starting the game, you get to experience the outskirts, a relatively peaceful and easy to traverse landscape. There's a lovely little yellow fella who shows you where you're supposed to go. It's as much of a tutorial as you'll get out of the game, which is kind of good because it lets you figure things out for yourself while they're simple, but we'll touch on that again later. Playing through it as a first timer, you really get to test things out. Like, I wonder if I can get up there. I wonder if I can eat that. And so on and so forth. Food is plentiful and hostile mobs are scarce. The world feels just dangerous enough that if you keep your wits about you and stay on your toes, you'll be able to conquer it, whatever that means. Playing as Monk, like I did, things are easygoing and peaceful, and honestly, the experience makes you want to keep pressing onwards. Progress is steady towards one of a few branching paths which lead you further into the game, where things rapidly get much more difficult. You'll have no idea where you're going, but god damn it, you're gonna get somewhere. So once you've traveled across the initial area, you'll make your way to what's called a Karma Gate, but it requires you to pass a karma check, I guess you could call it, where they don't let you through if your karma's not high enough. You need to prove you can duke it out with the best of them in the previous area before you're allowed to move on. If you die without protection from a fancy glowy flower, you go down a karma level. If you make it to a den with a full belly, you go up a karma level. It's pretty simple. Once you make it through a karma gate, you can pass through it again at any karma level, so you don't have to worry about getting trapped anywhere, which is actually really nice. Saved me a bunch of times on multiple occasions. Throughout my entire run as Monk, I only ran into one instance of needing more karma before I could use a gate. Maybe I'm just a god gamer. But I think what's more likely is that Monk is kinda easy baby mode. The karma system does, however, kind of dissuade you from taking risks and exploring separate paths, and instead it encourages you to play it safe, and if you have high enough karma, just head as quickly as possible to the next location. There's always a fear of getting jumped by some unforeseen threat, like an invisible lizard, and being back at square one, unable to go anywhere. It's kind of a strange concept, considering exploration and appreciating the environment is such a huge part of the Rain World experience. It makes it difficult to find a reason to explore every nook and cranny, at the risk of being able to progress through the game. But I digress. It can be difficult to find food and maintain karma in some locations, but for the most part, it is something you don't stress over, at least as Monk, so it's not as big of an issue as I make it out to be. Once you manage to find a karma gate, you'll probably go through it and save your game on the other side in one of the dens that are placed generally quite close to the karma gate. It'll unlock a new respawn point, and you'll be ready to delve into the area you just uncovered. So where the fuck are you now? Well, you're here, but maybe also there. And you're a bit below that thing, but maybe a bit above that thing? And I think that just about sums up navigation. If you commit a cardinal sin, like I did, you lose the guidance of your little yellow friend and you're left to just muddle your way through the world with no real rhyme or reason. It's painful, I'm not gonna lie. But you cheer when you find a new karma gate, and you sob when you end up back in the water swimming time hellscape after accidentally backtracking again. Honestly, the exploration is fun, but the fact that it's semi-open world with multiple paths you can take to get places just kind of means you miss stuff without realizing it. I accidentally skipped multiple areas and story content by doing a speedrun skip that seemed like the only way forward at the time. For those of you who've played before, I accidentally did wall skip, so I figured it out just by button mashing and making it work over the course of 1 or 2 day cycles. This cut out a small part of the even smaller exposition and storytelling that I would have gotten to experience otherwise. Speaking of the story, it's really hard to follow. In fact, pretty much none of it makes any sense whatsoever. The game doesn't really tell you the story, you have to go and find the story. And while that's cool and all, as I said, the branching paths mean you can very easily miss things and be left wondering what in the world is going on. Honestly, I didn't even know what the funny yellow character I was playing meant in terms of the story or who they were. You see flashbacks, maybe they're to the past, or maybe it's to future events, maybe it's just a dream. And I didn't even know who my Slugcat was in those images. The closest thing you get to actual exposition is talking with this funky guy, Pebbles, who says something about lots of past Slugcats and tells you where to go next. This was the first bit of direction I'd gotten since losing my guide dog because he got mad at me for sinning. Even with the help of some veterans who came in to watch me play this live, I still don't know almost anything about the evidently extensive, interesting, and even at times tragic lore of the game. If you want to find out about the lore, you'd have to play multiple runs as multiple different Slugcats, or maybe just watch a bunch of lore videos. Although this little video essay thing may seem negative at this point, I honestly would recommend Rainworld as a first-time experience to anybody that's interested in even like one aspect of the game, be it the monsters, the environment, the exploration, hell, even the Slugcat memes that I've been seeing on Discord. That's the reason I played it. All this being said, I think I'd rate the first time Rainworld experience for a completely new player probably like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. It's relatively good, but it can be really, really punishing and all around incredibly confusing without any instructions. As long as you're willing to struggle a little bit with getting to the right place or some kind of unexpected monster that you couldn't see because you're not used to the game yet, you are probably going to make it through a run. But I think it's pretty safe to say that no matter what character you play or how you approach the game for the first time, you're probably going to have no goddamn clue what is going on. Because I played the game for Slugcat, I didn't really care about the story that much. It wasn't really important to me, but everybody was saying, oh, it's really cool, it's really in-depth. And so I just wished there had been a little bit more of it for myself personally. As a first-time player, I was kind of left wondering what the hell I'd even experienced by the end. I think when I was on stream, I rated it a Scug out of 10. Just because it was so outlandish. It just made no sense whatsoever. In order to figure out just a little bit more about the game, I'm going to be doing a second run as Hunter over on my Twitch, which you can find linked in the description. Additionally, if you liked the video or liked me, please follow the channel on Twitch, subscribe to the YouTube, and leave a like on the video. I would really, really appreciate it. I plan on doing a very similar type of video for Hollow Knight when I finish playing it, and for Spelunky 2 when I get through a decent portion. So, if you have any interest in seeing me play either of those games, make sure you go and follow the Twitch to catch me live, or stick around for the video, and it could be a little while. I'm not sure exactly when I'll finish it, and these videos take a bit longer to make. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I've been Lunan. I guess I'll see you in the next video.